Thank you. Hey, Dave. Going into tonight, is there anything that you're really looking for from these guys, or that you've really had a conversation about them with them for?
Right now, not really. On the position player side, timing, getting their legs under 'em, logging some innings on defense, just seeing some live pitching, seeing opponents in another uniform. On the pitching side, just want to kind of build these guys up. Whether it's Walker who's going to go two, whether it's Dustin May is going to go two, or those relievers behind him that are going to go in inning apiece. Just kind of getting out there and competing again.
Thank you.
You got it.
Next question from Dave Vassegh. Go ahead, Dave.
Hey, Dave, Kershaw threw a bullpen today. Where's he at in spring, and when do you think he'll pitch in a game?
Yeah. So I think that I don't know if Mark and him if he's gonna face hitters again, or in 3 days he'll be in a game. I think that we're still talking about that, making sure Clayton feels good coming out of the pen. And right now, Dave, I don't know that answer. I know I expect to see him soon in a Cactus League game.
Where is he at physically? Is it business as usual? Is it better than what it was a year ago? Where would you say he's at?
Better than it was a year ago, and business as usual.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Next question is from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Dave, Joe Kelly threw today off the mound. Just what's the update on him, and what are you expecting him going forward here?
Yeah, I think that Joe's on a throwing program. Everything that I hear, he came out of it fine, and he'll go back to playing catch, building up, and then hopefully in another few days we'll get him back, throw another bullpen, and hopefully, you're looking 6-7 days potentially to see some hitters.
Next question is from Ron Kavner. Go ahead.
Hey, Dave, for the young guys who didn't get to play in games last year, do you get the sense that they're any more excited or antsy for this, just to be playing against a different team for the first time in a year?
Yeah, I think to a man, everyone's excited, not only just to be here in spring training, to be practicing again with teammates, but these young guys who essentially missed out on a year of baseball just to now have the opportunity. So I'm very cognizant of trying to get them in games, and really want them to cut their teeth a little bit in a big league game. So we still got time, but certainly there's a lot of youthful enthusiasm.
How nice is it to also be heading into a season with Walker? And I know you've touched on it before, but just with Walker kind of getting built up a little bit more normally than what last year was.
Oh, it's great. And I think that it's also even better when the player drives it. And Walker very aware of his body and how his body responds to rest or continue to ramp things up. So as we learned in past, to kind of go idle and dormant, maybe not the best thing for Walker. And so kind of trial and error, and we feel good where he's at right now by, throwing all throughout the winter.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah.
Next question is from Eric Stewing. Go ahead, Eric.
Dave, a report came out today about AAA season being pushed back, and that means alternate sites. Have you guys discussed where that would be for you guys? Is USC an option, or would you have to go to like Rancho?
Yeah, I think right now, Eric, I think Camelback Ranch and Rancho Cucamonga are the two options for the Dodgers.
And that's what would you'd still be comfortable in terms of like players shuttling back and forth if you had to call them up from that in that scenario?
Yeah. And I don't know really, we still got, 4 or 5 weeks to ultimately decide, but I think both, locations work for us.
Thanks.
I got another question for Dave. Go ahead, Dave.
Dave, along those lines for the young players, DJ Peters spoke to us earlier today. I know a couple of springs ago you were very high on him. Where do you think he's at right now in his development and just cutting down his swing?
He looks good right now. I think that, he's just one of the guys that unfortunately didn't get to play a full season last year. And so he obviously worked really hard this past winter. He's always in great shape. And it's just for DJ just to continue to get the repetitions, because as a big bodied guy, there's so many, the levers are long and really trying to dial in the mechanics. But honestly, the work that he's done with the hitting guys himself, we feel just as high on DJ as we ever have been.
You got time for one more. Go ahead, Jorge.
Dave, for Julio tomorrow, is it 2 innings?
2 innings for Julio.
And I'm just wondering, as someone who's been around him for quite a while now, are you just excited to see this guy maybe potentially having a full chance, a full season to start games and be a guy in that rotation?
I am. He's earned it. He's been through a lot, and he's done it the right way. And his growth physically, the maturity as a professional ball player has grown so much, and obviously the culmination last year. But yeah, to see him, getting regular work, potentially as a starter, I think that we're all excited about that.
Hey, Dave, what do you think of Walker Buehler today?
Walker was good. I think that he would like the ball to come out a little bit better, but I thought he was good. The fastball command was fine. The breaking ball, had some teeth when it needed to, and he was good. I thought he came out of it just fine. So first outing, positive.
And from Dustin May, what are you kind of looking forward to seeing from him this spring?
Just continue to, develop the curveball, which he threw a good one tonight. The changeup, continue to change eye levels with the fastball. Two-seamer was good, cutter good. Just continue to build up. Dustin's, just scratching the surface.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question's from Bill Plunkett. Go ahead, Bill.
Yeah, Dave, on Dustin again, what do you think he has taken away from last season?
I think there's a lot of takeaways. Just the importance of continuing to execute. I think that when you're facing minor league hitters for a young pitcher, you get away with a lot of mistakes, and big league hitters, it's harder to end at bats. And when you do make mistakes, they can put them in play pretty well. So Dustin's a sponge. He's always trying to get better, and he's his worst critic or toughest critic. So I'm just excited to see his growth and potential as well.
Silly question to ask in early March, but I'll ask it anyway. Can you envision a season opening pitching staff that doesn't have room for him in some role?
It's I guess if there's any club that you could even have that conversation, it's ours. With the depth, we're 7-8 starters deep. So my message to Dustin, along with all those other starters, just continue to build up, keep making pitches, and we'll see where that leads.
Was that your first look at Nick Robertson, and what did you think?
Yeah, in live action, it was. I've seen a handful of pens, and he's looked really good. Heard in instructs, how he was dominant, tough to pick up from hitters, a strike thrower, good secondaries. So, yeah, to see him face some big league hitters in this environment, I know he was excited, and the stuff plays. Really good outing.
Thanks, Dave.
Yep.
Next question's from Jorge Castillo. Go ahead.
Dave, with May and Gonsolin and Julio, whoever's sort of not in the top 5 for the rotation, can those guys still start season opening their roster in the bullpen?
Sure. Yeah. I think that, those guys have all, shown what they can do at the major league level. So, I just want these guys to continue to build up. But to your question, that certainly is a possibility.
And would it be the type of thing, early on, especially when you make this jump from 60 to 162, where you would want these guys to eat up some innings, especially early in the season?
Yeah. Obviously we open up for 4 in Colorado. Starting pitchers aren't built up where they will be eventually during the season. So to have as many guys that can take down innings, obviously very important. So when you're looking at potentially 2 starters that don't make the rotation, certainly makes sense to have guys that can log some innings.
And with a guy like Dustin, do you have like a projected sort of innings total in your guys' like heads and what you would like to see from him this season?
No, not right now. We don't.
Thank you.